Somebody say Eddie C. McLeod. That's me, y'all. Welcome once again to Truth Spoken Here. It is my pleasure, my honor today to introduce a fellow musician. This is my first interview with a musician. This is a guy that I met back in 1995, so close to 30 years ago. I met this guy. We were both playing at a venue in Columbia, and at a venue in Columbia called Jerry's Fine Dining. And he's an awesome guitarist and awesome musician, and more so than that, he's an awesome human being. I have the pleasure to present to you today Mr. Eugene Williams. How you doing, Eugene?
I'm doing good, Eddie. How are you?
Doing great, man. So, Eugene, the first question, of course, I want to ask you, you just tell us kind of how you got started in music and anything else you can tell us about your formative years.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you, Eddie, for having me here on your podcast. And also, I started at a very young age. I started playing in the church with my father with his group, and it was called the Williams Brothers back in New Jersey. And that's how I got started. I played with his group, and he had me playing in the church, playing the guitar. I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Wow. Okay. And you say you also played. Your father, you had some experience with the famous Williams Brothers too, also, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, well, all of it, man. Being with my brothers, man, we already knew each other, so it was easy to get together, and then we did a lot of touring, and it just worked out. Like I said, my father was a manager. He started managing us, so it all worked out.
But now I was talking about the other Williams brothers.
Oh, you talking about from Mississippi?
Yeah.
We're the Williams brothers from New Jersey.
Right, but didn't you play with them sometime?
Yeah, oh yeah, when I was on tour with the Lumpy Sisters.
Right.
Yes, I did.
That's what you tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, the Williams brothers, the Jackson Southerners, they always booked us together with the Lumpy Sisters. I played with them on one of their albums also. And
okay.
So that was a good experience to be with the groups. We travel from here and go there, and we'd see the agents, sometimes they kept us in the same tour, same groups together for a while. And then sometimes we went off. But we went off to do some other shows, and we meet them in another town, another show. And them guys, man, they're really nice, man. We really enjoy each other's company.
Cool. And you also went to Berkeley, right?
Yes, I did.
Now tell us about what that experience was like.
Oh, that was a great experience going to Berkeley College, because they don't do anything but music courses. If they had other courses, I didn't take them.
and of course, Berkeley is Berkeley and Juilliard are like the Harvard and Yale, the Ivy League of music schools, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's some good training there, that's for sure. I love it.
Before you went there, could you read music or anything?
No, I couldn't. Not at all. They told me they explained to me what I was doing. It's like a baby talk, and then you learn how to speak English.
Right. Now, I've noticed in some of your shows that you do some guitar gymnastics that are very similar to what Jimi Hendrix did, in the '60s, like playing with your teeth and playing behind your back. Now, was Hendrix an early influence?
Yes, he was. When I met him, when I was introduced to Jimmy, some of those things I was more or less doing anyway, and not in the gospel field. But after I met him, I said, well, I could do that, and it was just something that I enjoy doing now, just to, entertain the people.
And if y'all see this guy's show, I'm gonna tell y'all, it really is an experience. Actually, I was supposed to go to one of his shows Sunday or something. The show got canceled at the last minute or something.
Yeah, I know with the heat had something to do with it, because they said because I was gonna be playing outside.
This is outside, didn't you? Oh yeah, that he was Sunday.
And it still worked out, because they still said no, you deserve to be paid. I appreciate that.
Great.
They still paid me. So.
Now I've known you long enough that I can remember you were doing your own thing, leading your own band. Now how's it different now that you're part of an ensemble like your current band, Cash Money?
Well, just like anything, man. When you have your own band, you're more or less in charge. And so now playing with Cash Money, you like our band. You can't have all Indians and no Chiefs. All Chiefs and no Indians. So I know my space. I'm an Indian now because if he's out front leading, I can't try to do that, but I can try to help him out. Just like Andy Griffith with Bonnie Fife. He just signed that. Somebody.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, and so that I do my part. You know what I mean? I don't try to outdo anything. Just do my part, and it's interesting to be on either side. You know what I mean? Because that shows that you're a good someone that you can work with anyone.
Right.
Doing anything, and that's where it helps me at.
Because you got some musicians that I was reading some stuff about the drummer from the group Cream, Eric Clapton's group Cream, and they had Ginger Baker. Everybody talked about what an anal retentive guy this guy was, and he couldn't get along with, and like Eric basically had him and the bass player, Jack Bruce. They would actually have battles, actually have physical confrontations and stuff. I don't know if it ever got to where it was on stage. Also, like the band Oasis, the two brothers in it, the Gallagher brothers. Also from the Black Crowes, they had the Robinson brothers, and some of these guys got in fist fights on stage and stuff. So that, it should never come to that.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know because that shows on in the music too. You know what I mean? If you're up there battling with each other, to me, the music. You got to feel what you're doing, and if you got something against the other guy and all that, to me the music won't come together right.
I think some of that too, you have to like for some of that too. And I don't know about the case with Ginger Baker, but like those other guys, they were like younger guys, like maybe their 20s or whatever. So I think some of that comes with maturity. Of course, you won't find anybody our age, but like I know with me myself. I can't fight no more. I can't run. So I ain't about to be fighting nobody. So, but some of that was just them. I guess you was working out the frustration or something. I don't know. But back to the question, you're the first musician I've had the honor of interviewing, and can you tell me a little bit about? Can you tell our listening audience a little bit about what goes with the dynamics with a band, as far as it's inevitable sometimes that people with different personalities and other things that come into play within a band context. And from time to time, you're going to have disagreements. So how do you work around those to achieve the greater good?
Well, one of the things that you don't want to do is put it on the stage because you're going to have disagreements. But that still should not deal with your professionality on the stage. You should go up there and do professional work because the people, they see you. And you're just like in front of a TV screen and they can see everything. And so naturally, if you got something like that going on, it'll show up, you know what I mean? So that's the best thing you can do to that is if you have disagreements, forget about them until you get off stage and talk about it later.
And that goes back to maturity too, and also that goes back to like what you're saying lately about knowing your role. Like you gonna be a chief or an Indian, So that kind of goes back to that too, I guess.
That's correct.
Yeah. So.
And I'll tell you this too. I'm gonna say this because I know some people have talked to me and there's sponsors and they were saying that, well, you the one gonna be in charge, so I'm paying you, so whatever you say goes.
Mm-hmm. Now, in my opinion, the current local music scene here in Columbia is sort of lackluster right now. But there was a time in the mid-'90s when we had artists like Daniel Howell and the Tantrums, Edwin McCain, and most notably, of course, Hootie and the Blowfish, where it looked like Columbia might become a breeding ground for up-and-coming artists. What do you think happened, and do you think there's still hope for Columbia to have a thriving music scene again?
Yes, I do. I mean, because we have a lot of talented musicians here. And the thing about it, I guess they say it takes money to make money, and they're good, and as far as them getting produced the right way, that's all that has to be done. But other than that, they're very good. I think Columbia still has a good chance of getting on the maps if they, Because musicians, they got good musicians here.
What do you think happened during that time? When they had that period, like I said, in the mid-90s, and then all of a sudden, like poof, all that was gone. What do you think happened?
Well, more or less what happened, man, with the hip hop. That's the hip hop came out, and that's what kind of a lot of musicians were not playing. So naturally the playing as far as musicians went down, but hip hop changed because they started using old tracks,
samples, yeah,
and samples. That's all they did. So that kind of lessened as far as being a musician, a real musician. You know
right.
what I mean? You kind of lose that. But they do have some good ones here, because I met some of them.
Because someone like, and the thing that kills me with that generation of what the hip hoppers is like, you got these guys that as soon as they learn to work a drum machine or how to sample something, they call themselves musicians. That's not a musician, and it's also an insult. People like me and you who've worked like 40-something years, and probably for you longer than that, at applying our trade and stuff, and learning our craft. It's an insult to us.
But you know what? One thing I've learned, I was thinking about the other day, the computer, as of yet, have not been able to, with the guitar, so in that way, yeah, they get the drum and all, but not the guitar.
Cause you got that stuff like nobody else do stuff like Nile Rodgers did, or cause like now it's like that's you talking about rhythm guitar. That you got Nile Rodgers, Ray Parker's a great guy. The guy from Rufus, the guy that played with Otis Red and Steve Cropper.
Yeah,
those guys are great rhythm guitarists too. And you're right. I haven't found a computer yet that can emulate that.
Correct.
So that leads me to my next question. So what do you think of the way the music is produced now, as opposed to how it was produced in our era, particularly regarding hip hop's use of sampling and computer generated sounds?
Well, see, the thing about in the hip hop, well, to get this, let's say that question again, because I heard something, and I want to answer at least one question.
Yeah. What do you think of the way music is produced now, as opposed to the way it was produced in our era?
Yeah. See, the music now, when it's produced by the computers and all, it's cold. It's a cold feeling, and the feeling is not the same. The warm of the person playing the instrument is not recorded. And, the computer is very cold. That's one way I can use now, because there's no. So I saw this commercial on TV about the AI people, artificial intelligence, and only thing robots said they can do everything the human can do, but see, they don't have a soul. They said that's what they want, a soul.
Right, that's what's missing from the music a lot of times, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that warmth and stuff. Now, of course, I love that there's hip hop artists that I love, because I love the guys like what's a group called Tribe Called? No, it was a Tribe Called Quest. What's they did an album called Low End Theory. They used Ron Carter on the album. I think it was Tribe Called Quest. They had an album called Low End Theory, and they actually used Ron Carter, the jazz bassist, on the album. And they like I said, I like they did some awful. They used it along with samples, of course, too. But Ron Carter was all over that album. That's one of the definitive albums of hip hop to me. Low End Theory, and I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's Tribe Called Quest.
Well, okay, see, just like music in general, see, hip hop, it depends on what they're talking about. It's like, for instance, it's the words. If they were really saying something, it would be worthwhile to listen to, because, and then you don't want to keep hearing the same beat you heard way back then. You want to get, some new, fresh on the scene. So,
right.
Just like between, they gotta be saying something. Even like in the gospel, I'm saying the gospel feel is good, but I'm comparing. If you see between gospel and the hip hop, you got hip hop that in the middle of the road too. But if they talking about something, then people like us, we're probably gonna listen.
Like the use of the gratuitous profanity. That's not that, and degrading women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's uncalled for and stuff. You know, now I love like hip hop. What I call it, I got a playlist on my Spotify. I got a playlist called Intellectual Hip Hop, with groups like Tribe Called Quest, PM Down, a few other groups. So, you know, Eric B and Rakim, of course. Yeah, and I just googled that while I was talking to you. I just googled that Low End Theory. That album that was a Tribe Called Quest. I thought it was. I didn't want to be putting out any wrong information here, but yeah, you know, like, and then you got to go back to the forerunners of hip hop and rap. Those guys like Gil Scott Heron, one of my favorite artists. Gil Scott Heron, also the Last Poets, and they like those guys like almost always had a message. You know, now there was some profanity in some of this stuff, but it wasn't gratuitous profanity, and you know, like just cursing for the sake of cursing and stuff.
Yeah, just to be cursing.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of them are doing.
Because I think, you know, with stuff like that, that shows that like I said, like I think people, when they choose to use profanity, I think it's because they like the vocabulary, the grasp of the English language, and the vocabulary to express themselves adequately. So.
And I ask some kids sometimes what are they saying, because I'll hear. I'm saying, what are they saying? And they don't even know.
Now you produce. Have you worked with any of those hip hop artists? As far as the stuff you're producing, have you worked with any of them?
I have worked with a gospel hip hop artist.
Oh wow, I bet that's interesting.
Man, that was.
Because I have heard some tasteful stuff done in that field. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See the words. You know what I mean? And then I produced with my taste in the music behind them. Oh man, that'd be great.
I can't wait to hear that. Besides playing with Cash Money, what other musical projects are you involved with currently?
I am involved with, like I said, I got a song on the Shy, and I'm working on some other.
You said with Shy?
Yeah, I got
the group from the 90s?
No. The movie The Shy that's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. You got a song in that movie?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to watch that.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's called Be That Way, and so. I'm working on projects like that. I'm writing songs for people. I just did a gospel song for this lady in North Carolina. She wanted, and she wanted me to arrange it, and it's out now too. So called "Help Me Carry the Load." Also signed.
What's the lady's name?
Julie.
Yeah. No, you know last name.
Huh?
Last name.
Well, I gotta look at it.
Okay.
Julie, but see what she.
Julie gonna get you if she hear this.
Oh no, she ain't gonna get mad. I got her name.
Okay, that's good.
Oh yeah, I got her name on there.
Okay.
She said I don't want to be out front, but I said no, we gotta do it this way because you're the writer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I had to do all. You know, I do the copyright, I do the publishing. You know, and it all boils down to knowing how to get it out there. Now, that's something that now that I'm glad that I'm able to do through the years. So I got projects too. I just signed a contract with Epsilon Records in London.
Okay.
They're gonna release 4 of my songs, and then
are they be on streaming platforms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so I'm happy for that. And then I got my Christmas CD coming out now. And I know that's gonna all the jazz stations.
Now, would that be on the stores and streaming?
Yeah, it'll be just streaming mostly. I don't know.
So you have a website that you're selling your music on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you put the name out there so people will know so they get this stuff?
Yeah, y'all gotta go there. You gotta go there and get it because you're gonna like everybody like it so far. But it's www.eugenejanae.com. I guess I know how to spell it. Is EUGENEGENAY. It's one word, EugeneJanae.com. And that'll take you to my website and give you all the songs that I release. And, I appreciate it if you do go there.
So my listening audience, y'all hear that? EugeneJanae.com. Okay. Now, and also because Sunday's show that I was supposed to come to that you were supposed to have Sunday that got canceled. Now that was a solo guitar gig, right?
Yes, it was.
Do you do a lot of those?
Yes, I do. I
hate I missed that because I seen some stuff that you were doing as far as on your what was it on? TikTok. I
social
seen
media.
where you doing what a wonderful world. That was great, man. Which is something I play myself. So I do some solo, do that solo guitar. Now being a musician myself, I thought for a few minutes, we could talk shop, so to speak. So please tell me and our listeners out there who may be musicians themselves about some of the gear you use in recording and performing.
Performing, the regular Yamaha stuff,
Now your guitars, let's start with your guitar.
Yeah, I got Fenders, Jazz Masters. I have the Ovation acoustic. I got a 5-string bass. Sometimes my mom let me break a blank because I got quite a few of them. I got some keyboards.
Yeah.
And I got electric drums, acoustic drums.
Now, do you have a favorite guitar?
Nah, it depends on what music I'm playing.
Yeah, because I know, like I love like now. I think out of the electric guitars I think a Strat is the most versatile. But I also love hollow body guitars. I've had several hollow body guitars. I love those. I had an Oscar Smith. I hate that thing. Got away from me. I think I ended up selling that guitar. I think I fell on hard times. I ended up selling it or something like that. Yeah. I had an Oscar Smith, which is made by Washburn. That was a nice hollow body guitar. And I've had a semi hollow body and stuff also. What kind of keyboard you got?
I had some Yamaha keyboards, Motif 7. I got the old Roland.
Oh wow, you want those old Rollins with stage piano or?
Well, the Roland is still, but I use
or synth.
the chord, computerized chord to put my signs, my Sigma, put the sound through.
Okay.
And it comes out real, but that Motif is really nice too.
Yeah.
Yamaha.
Yeah. Okay, so now you and also you say you play some bass also.
Yeah.
So what kind of bass have you got?
Well, I can't think of the name because it depends. I use it for mostly studio recording. So I feel bad because my mind draws a blank sometimes.
I know you probably have a senior moment. I have those too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, that happens, but it's a good one.
Now with amps and stuff, now you got those Marshall stacks and everything like that.
I got them together. Yeah. Man. That's a powerful amp.
Yeah, it's amazing how that amp there that has stood the test of time and stuff. Those Marshalls still sort of like the industry standard and stuff. So, do you have any advice for aspiring musicians?
Well, the main thing, man, it got to be in your heart, and you got to love it. And the only way that you can get anything out of it is if you stick with it.
And what I find sadly, like I got a student that I'm kind of like mentoring. I'm not a teacher per se, but this particular student is just like just wants to take shortcuts. And I tell them all the time, there's no shortcuts. You got to practice, and you got to learn. You got to learn your craft and stuff. And you just got to do it. There's no shortcuts around it and stuff. And this particular individual is very talented, but they just want to sort of want to hide behind other people's talent and stuff, and you're not going to learn anything like that and stuff. And because my advice, like I said, to like younger musicians, I always tell them, particularly if you're playing stuff like open mic. Okay, like I do a lot of open mics myself. I not so much now lately, but I always tell them, there's certain artists that you got to have in your repertoire if you're gonna be doing like open mics. Usually the way most open mics work, they'll give you about 10 to 12, well, 10 minutes most time, depending on how crowded it is. So that's about 3 songs that you can do. So with that, you got stuff that resonates with just about any artist. Then sometimes so you got to know your audience too. But the crowds that I play in front of, they love Beatles, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, that type of stuff, especially if you're just playing, just out there playing just solo guitar. You got to learn stuff like that. Like every now and then, you might throw in something I'll throw in a Stevie Wonder song and stuff like that. But I also tell them now this particular person I was talking about, I told him, put some Beatles in your repertoire because I remember when I was my formative years, the Beatles stuff, like what made the Beatles such a great band is that they weren't like at first when they first came out, of course they were doing that 3-chord stuff that all the rock and roll bands were doing, but then they evolved because they also had a guy named George Martin, their producer, and if anyone deserved the title of the fifth Beatle, it would be George Martin. But they began to branch out, and then you had all these other influences that came in, like stuff like Blackbird. Blackbird, I think Paul McCartney said that came from like a little song that Bach had called a composition called Bach's Boread. That's based off that. It's something like they would show off doing it at parties and stuff when they were kids and stuff. They would show off before they got famous and stuff, and that kind of evolved into that song and stuff. And so Beatles stuff, like I said, the Beatles stuff like will make you a better musician. And I got to a point when I've been playing probably about 10 years, where I stopped studying guitars for the most part. I started like branching out, like studying keyboard players, bands of keyboard oriented people like Steely Dan, Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, and later on I came to. Well, I knew Elton John was, but I never really got that Elton John group as far as like trying to play his stuff like later on. But Steely Dan, like I said, Billy Joel. I remember learning Just the Way You Are, and that had. I remember that song. To me, it seemed like the song had 1,000 chords in there, but it had, because like that, you're only gonna go so far though with that. Playing that 3-chord stuff, you're not gonna develop into a good musician playing that stuff. Really, it's gonna cripple you.
Oh yeah.
And so I tell them all the time, learn something. Don't just listen to this guitar players. I've even taken like stuff like stuff that people play on saxophone and try to transcribe it to guitar. For instance, one of the songs was "Careless Whisper," that little part on there. Da 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 da. I've transcribed that for guitar and stuff. Not transcribed it, but like learned how to play that riff on guitar. Transcribe means write it down, I guess. But yeah. So, but like I said, this generation you got now, like I say, it's just sad because like they don't want to. If it's anything like work, they don't want to do it. Sadly, that's sad. Now. Before we go, tell us about how we go about booking you or cash money for events. If we want to book you for an event or something,
you can go right to my website. I'll give it to you again. And by the way, I'm gonna give it to you, probably, but I'm opening up my label more too. I'll be producing groups. I'm looking for young groups, But I'm gonna give
you the old guys like me too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, because I'm telling you, man. Like just talk with you the last few months. My dream is like one day to have something co-produced or produced by Eugene Williams and stuff.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can make that happen. So we talked about that and stuff.
Yes,
so, but yeah.
We'll get that because I have pre-production and then I go to the studio and the whole work. If you want demos, you want just people who can play. You want and I do arranging and composing.
Right.
Movies, you name it, man. I got just about everything that's needed for you to get out there. But if you want to book, you want me to continue on. You want me to book if you want to book the band, go right to my website, www.eugenejanae.com. Once you contact me, I can turn you over to the world. I'll say it like that. Book Cash Money, book me, and I'm going to have some other groups on there because I'm going to open up.
Okay. So it must be really a dream to be because all you're doing right now is music, right?
That's it. I don't do anything else.
And that's great, man. That's they always heard that old adage about if you find something that you like doing, that you love doing, and you can get paid for it, it'll never seem like work. And I'm pretty sure that's been the case with you. I can tell just when I go to your shows that you're having a ball, and it's amazing somebody pay you for that. Something you basically do for free, basically.
Yeah, you can say that for fun. A lot of people take it as a hobby,
Yeah.
It's nothing like it if you can really, make it happen for you.
Now, there was a story you told about your first guitar. I want you to recount that story. You talking about you got it for Christmas or something? Tell us that story.
A silver tone guitar. It comes in the case. The whole, it's one, you open up the case, You got the amplifier, the guitar, and everything right in that one little.
Is that the one
case.
Sirius used to sell?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, I love that guitar, man.
Now, so you just gave us an inkling of what your age is, because lately like Sirius don't even sell guitars anymore. I don't think. Oh, do they still sell that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think silver tones even made anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
So you got that for Christmas one day, or one year?
That was the best Christmas I had.
Okay. Yeah.
That I had. I loved it. I loved it.
That was your first guitar.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, so Eugene, hopefully, like so, what do you got coming up in the immediate future?
Well, I do have. I'm talking to some other sponsors. See now, the record company in Epsom or London, they're gonna release it over there. I said, "It's gonna come over here," and they said, "Well, we don't. It can still go worldwide, but I asked them. I said, "Can I release the same songs over here?" They said, "Yes, do that." So I think the two will come together,
right?
And that way, because that's the good part is that I can play all the instruments and do the same thing again. And so that's what I'm headed for now, to finish those and let them release theirs.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be good.
And for y'all people that don't know, this is how you get this is how you generate residual income, and also how you generate generational wealth, because that's money that will be, you know, this is royalties that Eugene will be getting for the rest of his life and stuff.
Correct.
And be able to pass on to his kids, you know, when he's gone, you know, is with, you know, I think because as creative people, you know, we always want to, like, at the age we're at now, I just turned 60 last month, and we're at the age now where, you know, we want to document stuff for posterity's sake, so that like I have a daughter, my daughter's 21. I want to document stuff so that one day when she has kids, you know, if I'm not here, she can tell them, or maybe go to the internet or whatever and show them, this is what your granddaddy did and stuff. And that's what it's about for us sometimes. Like when you get to, I know that's what it's about for me. Just documenting stuff for posterity's sake. And, you know, as an artist, you always want to create something that outlives you. That you know, that's I think that's every artist's goal. I think pretty much it should be.
Cause I want my song catalog. I'm gonna hand it over to my kids and everything. Cause I got a big song catalog.
But Eugene Williams is gonna live to be 120, so we got to worry about him leaving the time soon.
Yeah.
Leaving us so yeah, we got to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I'll be right there with you if I get some of these health issues on track and everything.
Yeah, man, that's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah,
do it. Anybody can do it, and I think it's mostly mental anyway. A lot of things.
It is.
Your body will heal itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you gotta give it time. You still have to do certain things.
Because you and I talked about some holistic approaches to medicine, and like this stuff now. This is kind of off subject and everything, but you know, like I said, this podcast is also about putting out useful information to people. So, like, you know, like you have any herbs you can recommend to people and stuff?
Oh yeah, and I take ginger.
Legal herbs now.
Oh yeah.
I know. I'm just listening to
you. Ginger,
yeah.
I take every day. I take garlic every day. I take black seed oil.
Yeah.
Also, I take my lemon and blend it up, the whole lemon in it. And I eat that every morning. I eat beets.
You talking about the zest, what they call it, the peel and everything?
Yeah, the peel.
They got a name for that, don't they? Use a recipe sometimes.
I don't know. I just take the whole lemon and put it in there.
Okay.
And then I eat it. I put it in a separate bottle, and I take a little bit every day, and then it helps. It's antioxidant, you know, that helps your body. And then cucumber water, I fix that I take time to fix all this stuff.
Maybe if I do that, maybe I'll be able to, like, when I met Eugene today, y'all, I told Eugene to take the elevator, because I took the elevator. I can't do stairs anymore, but hopefully if I do that, hopefully maybe I'll be able to climb stairs.
I hear you, yeah, man, you never know, because God does miracles, man.
Yes.
And I always believed in that.
And to God be the glory also. And one thing I want y'all to know about Eugene before I close this podcast is that this guy, like I said, ever since I met him, like I say, 20 years ago, however long it was, this guy has always been most humble, and like y'all, he talks about how accessible he is. He really is. This guy really, there's nothing fake about this guy. he's really accessible and stuff. He loves people, and he's real humble and stuff. And I think that's the key to life, is to be humble. It's like, really, truly, whether you're whatever type of artist you are, whether you're a visual artist, musician, writer, or whatever, we are only the vessels that God chose to channel this stuff through. God, I choose to call it God. Some people call it the universe, whatever. Whatever you want to call it, I choose to call it God. It's my upbringing and my beliefs. So, this has been a pleasure, Eugene, and with those words, you any other words of wisdom you want to say before we go? Then part us all.
No, earlier I had some things to say, but it went out the window right now. Maybe another time we have another one. Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'm gonna have you back on the show, because we talked about using Eugene and some other shows that I got coming up and stuff. So hopefully I'll have you back on there one day. So maybe it'll come back to you by the end and stuff.
Oh, I'm quite sure it will. Yeah. I'm gonna start writing stuff down.
Because in the future I'm gonna be branching out, doing some other topics on this show, and some of them will be some things that I'd love to have you as a panelist on and stuff. So anyway, Eugene, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, and like I said, as we go forward in life, may God continue to bless you, and hope to see you at some of the shows soon and stuff. And I love you, brother, and I hope that wish you all the good luck in the world and prosperity in the world.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure, brother. All right. Once again, I want to thank my guest for today, Mr. Eugene Williams. And also, before I go, I want to clarify something I said on my last podcast. My last podcast was regarding Juneteenth. I made the statement that the state of Texas got a year and a half of additional free labor out of the slaves. Actually, it was closer to 2.5 years. 2.5 years instead of 1.5 years. So I misspoke on that. So I wanted to clarify that. And so that ends my podcast for today. Until next time, may God bless and keep you. Peace. I'm out.